run to win a big win at home, 83-75 over Ohio State for Dick Vitale and our entire ESPN crew. This is Mike Patrick. Thanks for watching. Let's
The Louisville Cardinals coming to Tallahassee tonight with the Metro Conference at stake. Behind All-American Purvis Ellison, the Cards are trying to avenge an earlier loss to the Seminoles. Coach Denny Crum wants his team to wake up to the Seminole threat, and LaBradford Smith can lead the ambush. Pat Kennedy's Seminoles own a half-game lead over the Cardinals. Senior George McLeod has been rolling his way to the hoop all season long. And Irving Thomas laid it in for 18 points, 17 rebounds in the first matchup. Can the Seminoles hold on to the Metro lead? For Wake Forest Bob Stack, his mission has been to teach the young players the ways of the ACC. The Deacons' season has been a disappointment for Young, the weary, and the veterans. Although Wake is out of contention, junior Sam Ivey and the Deacs would like to play the spoilers role. Dean Smith has his 8th-ranked North Carolina Tar Heels aiming for another ACC title. Currently, J.R. Reed and his mates are in second, but they have plans to swat aside the competition. A doubleheader up next.
The largest crowd ever to see a basketball game in the state capital of Florida. Better than 13,000 have gathered here tonight at the Leon County Civic Center to see the 7th-ranked Seminoles of Florida State University take on the 10th-ranked Cardinals of the University of Louisville in a Metro Conference matchup. Hi, everybody. I'm Roger Twibel, and we welcome you to Tallahassee, Florida. And to say the fans here are excited about their Seminoles would be the understatement of the basketball year, because they are ranked in the top 10 for the first time in 16 years and off to a fantastic start under third-year coach Pat Kennedy. Let's bring in Larry Conley right now. And Larry, Louisville is used to scenes like this. Florida State really isn't.
Roger, that's right, because when you look at Louisville, you've got a basketball team that under Denny Crum has gone to 6 Final Fours. They've won 2 national championships in the 80s, and it's a basketball team loaded with experience. Florida State, on the other hand, a club trying to achieve some notoriety. And tonight, if they were to win, this would be a big step in that direction.
Some are calling it the biggest college basketball game in the state of Florida history, but the attendance here has increased 125% under Pat Kennedy in his 3rd year, and a lot of these folks come out to see a guy by the name of George McLeod.
Well, they have, and I like the definition of this young man. He was an overweight, seldom used forward who 2 years ago became a point guard. And yes, he's 6'6", and yes, he's 210 pounds, but look what he's averaging, almost 23 points a game. He's an outstanding player, Roger.
Denny Crum's teams have been known as great February basketball teams, but so far in this month, they're only 3-2.
Well, there's a reason for that. I think there's a lack of consistency on this basketball team. If Louisville were a 5-cylinder car, they've only been hitting on 3 cylinders. Purvis Ellison and 2 others, and that's it. And you never know which 2 are going to show up. It's inconsistency.
Of course, the keys for tonight's game, let's go over those.
Well, let's go to Louisville. And the first man you got to talk about is Purvis Ellison. Service for Purvis. If they'll get him the basketball inside, Louisville could win tonight. On the other side for Florida State, it's got to be rain from the outside. And it's George McLeod's 3-point shooting that's got to carry them.
Of course, the first matchup between these 2 teams this year was won in Louisville by Florida State. A win tonight would be their first sweep over the Cardinals in a decade. Let's go back to our ESPN studios and John Saunders. John?
Roger Twibel, Larry Conley back with you. The Leon County Civic Center in Tallahassee, 7th-ranked Seminoles and 10th-ranked Cardinals in a big Metro Conference game. And the standings in the Metro Conference are very close at the top, and with a win tonight and one Saturday at Memphis State, Florida State could clinch a tie for the conference title. As you take a look at Memphis State at 5-3, South Carolina at 4-4, Florida State at 7-1, Louisville at 6-1, and then on down the Metro Conference. Now the public address announcer, Nick Menikoff.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the Tallahassee Leon County Civic Center, the basketball home of the Florida State University Seminoles. Tonight, under the cameras of ESPN Sports, a Metro Conference clash as the Seminoles play host to the Cardinals of the University of Louisville. Louisville comes into tonight's contest with an overall record of 17-5. They are 6-1 in Metro play and are ranked 10th nationally. Florida State enters with an overall record of 19 wins and 2 losses. They lead the Metro with a 7-1 record, and they are ranked 7th nationally. And now here are the starting lineups. First for the Cardinals of the University of Louisville, out of Louisville, Kentucky. Starting at 1 forward, a 6'7" junior from Louisville, number 44, Tony Kimbrough. At the other forward, a 6'8" senior from Laurel, Mississippi, number 21, Kenny Payne. At center, a 6'9" senior from Savannah, Georgia, number 42, Purvis Ellison. At one guard, a 6'3" sophomore from Bay City, Texas, number 23, LaBradford Smith. At the other guard, a 6'3" junior from Louisville, number 3, Keith Williams. The head coach of Louisville, Denny Crum. And now, ladies and gentlemen, the Seminoles of Florida State. At 1 forward, a 6'7" senior from Kingston, North Carolina, number 24, Tony Dawson. At the other forward, a 6'9" junior out of Miami, number 30, Irving Thomas. At center, a 6'7" senior from Cantonment, Florida, number 34, Pat Hunter. At one guard, a 6'3" senior from Jacksonville, number 11, Derek Mitchell. At the other guard, a 6'6" senior from Daytona, number 21, George McLeod. The head coach of the Seminoles, Pat Kennedy.
The crowd is loving this night in Tallahassee. Florida State, Louisville coming up next, first of 3 right here on ESPN. The series edge, 25-7, holding opposition to 43% field goals, 19-2 overall for Florida State, and 11-1 at home this season, and 37-5 here under Pat Kennedy. LaBradford Smith sprained his left ankle in practice last night, about 30 seconds before the end of practice, and it's really highly questionable whether he will be able to play the majority of this game tonight.
Roger, I was watching him in the warm-ups, and he is really favoring that ankle. Seminoles get the tip.
Dawson, three-point land, won't go, tipped around, and Payne comes down with it.
What a start.
Keith Williams is 3. Ellison's in the middle. He's 42. That's Smith, 23. Kimbrough's 44. And they go into Purvis. Back out. Kimbrough got it.
That's the one thing Pat Kennedy was really fearful of, the inside-outside game. Get it into Purvis, Purvis kicking it back out, and they've got great shooters on this Louisville club from the perimeter.
Now pressure by Louisville.
And this was the second problem he was worried about, was the pressure. He knows Louisville likes to come after him quickly. They'll also back it off.
McLeod won't go. McLeod gets it back, and Payne the rebound.
Good start for Louisville.
Last 3 games, Louisville has shot 45% as an average, and the block out front, the foul's going to be on Florida State. And the foul was on Derek Mitchell. But one of the things that Denny Crum was telling us before the game tonight, they have not shot the basketball very well in those 3 games, since shooting 65% at that game we had at Memphis a few weeks back. But they've shot extremely poorly in the first half. He says they've really been having a tough time getting off. Williams misses, ball tipped around. It'll be Florida State basketball.
We stood around to shoot around today and watched Florida State work on the Louisville offense. And the thing that Pat Kennedy was most concerned about, not only the press, but also the half-court game that Louisville had, because he was fearful they might be able to get it inside on him.
Dawson and in.
What a great pass by Chad Hunter. Right across the lane. One of the most difficult passes to make. A bounce pass across the lane.
Tony Dawson, second leading scorer for the Seminoles at over 21 a game. Payne, who likes to shoot it from three-point land. Bradford Smith has really struggled even before the ankle injury in this stretch here, where not only has Louisville shot 45%, but they've been out rebounded in the last 3 games. A steal by Dawson. Boy, Dawson's a medical marvel. His left leg is 1 inch shorter than his right. He was, before the age of 7, hit by a car on 2 different occasions. The leg broken. Consequently, it's 1 inch shorter, but it hasn't deterred him in his basketball career as he takes it inside and gets it.
Has not deterred him at all. He went straight at Louisville inside and kissed it off the glass. Florida State with 2 big buckets inside.
Seminoles lead at 4-2. Williams in the lane, air ball, and Hunter, who led the Metro Conference in rebounding a year ago. Mitchell gets the rebound. Dawson and in. So Dawson has got all 6 Florida State points.
Roger, I wanted to say something early on about the front line of these 2 clubs. I really think Louisville's much more powerful and stronger inside, but I think Florida State has an advantage in quickness. They're a very, very active club inside. We're going to track a couple of statistics on each of these front courts and let you know as the progression of the game goes on.
And count it for Kenny Payne as he's fouled inside. So Payne hits the easy bucket. And the foul is going to be on Irving Thomas. As you look at Pat Kennedy, his 3rd year, formerly head coach at Iona before coming down to Florida State, an assistant to Jim Valvano up at Iona, and a couple of 19 and 11 seasons, and he's going to surpass that easily this year.
Florida State really having some success keeping the ball away from Purvis Ellison inside, but when they do that, it kind of opens it up for the outside, and that's going to be Kenny Payne, Kimbrough, and LaBradford Smith.
Smith tipped it out of bounds. Now, it's interesting, the first time up the floor when the pressure was applied, both McLeod and Mitchell were on down the floor, and left in the backcourt were Hunter and Thomas. Now McLeod's back there, but having a problem getting it in as both McLeod and Mitchell collide. And now McLeod, who, as you mentioned at the top, really for 2 years was a forgotten man here. And then when Pat Kennedy came in, he asked the players, who's the best man with the basketball in the pickup games? And they said McLeod, as the foul's going to be on Kimbrough.
Mitchell really had nowhere to go that time except the backdoor cut. And it was a good pass by Irving Thomas. Look at this move right here. He got it by LaBradford Smith. Kimbrough comes to help. Nobody there. Foul on Kimbrough as Mitchell tried to kiss it off the glass. Roger, we want to keep an eye on, too, Theron Mays, who has been out since January the 28th, has a chance of maybe getting back in this basketball game. And he's been out for a long time with this club.
Larry, Florida State averaging 26 free throw attempts a game. On the year, they've made 428 free throws. Their opponents have only attempted 382.
Well, I think that's indicative of a basketball team that likes to take the ball to the hole. And they do. They penetrate well. They get the ball inside well. And they really get a lot of free throws. And they're shooting their free throws well. They lead the Metro in free throw shooting, 73%.
There you go. And Mitchell misses them both.
Just as we said that, huh?
Oh, beautiful pass inside to Williams, and credit the assist to Tony Kimbrough.
Good cut by Williams. Keep that head open. Look up 4.
Thomas, of course, who transferred from Kentucky to Florida State out of Carroll City High in Miami. Hunter and in. Tap Hunter.
Roger, notice how Florida State works this press against Louisville. Offensively, they take it to the corners and then go to the middle underneath their basket.
Payne from three-point land, tipped around. Irving Thomas throws it over Dawson's head. 8-7. Florida State leads it, 16:28 to go. No less than 10 NBA scouts on hand here tonight to watch the likes of George McLeod, of Purvis Ellison, of Kenny Payne.
Oh, I think you've got several. I think Dawson could possibly play. Maybe Hunter, Kimbrough, Irving Thomas later on.
Kimbrough, three-point land. Louisville has already taken more three-pointers, Larry, this year. A new record for the Cardinals. More three-pointers this year than they had last year than they've ever taken before, and they've got a lot of basketball left.
Well, you know, they had 42 in '87, 84 last year, and coming into this game, they had 108 attempts. 108 made, excuse me. There they go inside. Purvis has got it inside, outside.
Williams turned it down and then throws it away. Dawson tipped it away.
Tony Dawson with 2 good steals in the first half.
You see the hesitancy with Williams. He had the wide open shot from the top of the key, and they're just not going down early, and the players are becoming very hesitant shooting the basketball.
One of the reasons why I think in their last 6 games they're 3-3. They just have not shot the ball well. Look at Thomas.
Won't go. Hunter tipped it. Still up. And it's going to go over to Louisville. Great legs inside by Tad Hunter. He's 6'7", but a tremendous leaper. Timeout, 15:35 to go first half.
Roger, oftentimes when you get the basketball on the wing, you always look to the middle, and Keith Williams had his head up, got the good pass from Tony Kimbrough, and he jammed it. He's not reluctant to take that shot.
Absolutely not.
Now watch FSU on the other end. Good pass over the Louisville press. Look at that bounce pass by Tad Hunter to Tony Dawson. Dawson got the first 3 baskets the Seminoles had.
So the ankle seems to be holding up for LaBradford Smith. You see Florida State has taken 4 more shots. Smith is guarded by McLeod.
Now Ellison's out on the wing now. Kenny Payne's going in posting up.
That's interesting.
A little bit of a change. Look at Tad Hunter back inside. Ellison can make that shot. Didn't that time.
Thomas loses it. Williams misses it, but Payne right there to put it up and in. Kenny Payne with 5. And Louisville with a 9-8 lead. Three-point land. Dawson has now got 9 of the 11 Florida State points.
Roger, I tell you what, you start talking about somebody who could play NBA, I think he's got a chance to play. He can shoot it. He's 6'7", can play the small forward or the big guard. Yeah, he's got that one bad leg, but he still gets around pretty well on it.
Payne outside, and Kenny Payne. He's got now 7 of the 11 Louisville points. So it's been Payne and Dawson so far offensively.
Louisville doing a pretty good job of fronting, not allowing the cutters to come to the ball. And again, Florida State throws over the press.
McLeod is trapped. Irving Thomas got it. Well, he's a big game player. He went up to Louisville his first trip back since transferring from Kentucky and had a big game, Larry.
How about 18 points and 17 rebounds? That's not bad.
Kimbrough forces it up. Air ball. Irving.
Good catch by Thomas.
And he's fouled. Kenny Payne commits his first foul.
Roger, this is a very athletic Florida State team. I mean, we're sitting here talking, and the first national exposure Florida State has on ESPN tonight. A lot of people around the country knowing that Florida State's been ranked in the top 10 most of the year. They're 19-2. You want to know who these guys are? They're a bunch of good athletes is what they are. They can catch it, they can shoot it, they can run, they play great defense, they're well coached. Watch Irving Thomas. This is their center out on the break. Good catch with one hand, and Kenny Payne fouls him on the other side.
And Thomas makes a free throw. You saw a couple substitutions for Louisville. 30, Cornelius Holden, a freshman out of Crenshaw High in Los Angeles. And also Felton Spencer, number 50, is checked into the game as Ellison comes up with a missed free throw. That's the freshman Holden. Misses it. Felton Spencer underneath. And they're going to be tied up, and it's going to go to Florida State. Excuse me, to Louisville. And we'll get a couple of substitutions here for the Seminoles.
Deron Mays into the lineup, and Aubrey Boyd. First appearance by Mays, as I said earlier, since January the 18th. When he went out, he was averaging 13 points a game for this club, so they welcome him back with open arms. Just gives him another offensive weapon. Florida State's going to do a 1-3-1 trap now. 1-3-1 zone trap. Mays out on the point.
The freshman, the leaner, won't go on the whistle underneath, and the foul following his shot is on Cornelius Holden. You can't fault him for that, Larry.
He got in there pretty quickly, too. The shot went up. I thought he had a pretty good chance at the shot, and he just kind of followed it up. I like seeing guys follow their own shots. And again, you see the front right there? Look at Williams. Sullivan fronting.
This is a very small lineup for Florida State right now. It's Boyd who's just checked in. Aubrey Boyd, number 20. McLeod really hasn't done much so far. Off the glass, not even close. And Williams will get it to the middle with Ellison on the wing. Purvis.
Bingo. I knew that one was coming. When that baseline opened up, that's an invitation to go in and throw it down.
Well, Williams did a great job getting to the middle, and the steal by the freshman.
Not a good pass by Thomas.
Everett Sullivan, who's just checked in. Williams to Ellison on the baseline and traveling.
You know what? He tried to get a little bit closer. He had a 6-foot shot on the baseline. Should have gone ahead and taken that shot. He can make that one. My goodness, he's shooting 65%. Why not?
14-13, Florida State with the 1-point lead and 12:40 left to go first half. Cloud looks like he's wearing ankle weights. Those black Velcro straps around his ankles.
Good pass inside. Louisville now in a little bit of a matchup zone. Which way is it going? Going offense. Thomas pushed off. Pair of 30s going at each other. Irving Thomas and Cornelius Holden.
Second foul on Irving Thomas, and that will send him to the bench. And Tat Hunter will check back in. And also coming in for Florida State right now is Derek Mitchell, and Mays will sit down. Now, they had to get approval from the officials for the padding, the small cast on the right hand of Mays. Make sure that was okay.
Pretty good idea about Pat Kennedy. Just kind of gradually work Mays in. Don't throw him out there and let him baptism under fire. Just let him kind of gradually work his way back in. Good steal by Boyd.
Bad pass by Everett Sullivan, the freshman out of South Carolina. Look at McLeod behind the back. Three-point land, in and out. Saved by Sullivan, and Spencer has it. Williams, stutter step, Ellison, and in.
And that's the shot he should have taken just a minute ago when he was standing there when he got the traveling call trying to get a little bit closer.
15-14, Louisville by 1.
Florida State in a big transition game. They're really moving the ball up and down the floor.
Dawson won't go. Hunter the tip, and the rebound by Purvis Ellison. Everett Sullivan, good-looking freshman player. 3 really fine freshmen on this Louisville basketball team.
Cornelius Holden, James Brewer being the other one.
Sullivan. Well, once again, Sullivan had the shot, hesitated, tried to dump it inside, and Holden lost it and committed the foul in the process. And that's a second foul on Cornelius Holden.
Louisville's doing a good job of making those short 3 to 4 foot passes, but they've got open shots. No reason to take that right there and try to get in a little bit closer. I think he should have gone ahead. Sullivan should have and taken the shot.
Timeout, 11:21 to go first half. Louisville leads it by 1. Pat Kennedy, his resume looks like this. Third season at Florida State, led Seminoles to a 37-5 home record. You see his career record, 68%, and in 8 years of coaching, 3 NCAA, 3 NIT tourney appearances. King's College in Wilkes-Barre, Pennsylvania, where after his sophomore season, the head coach there said, "Hey, Pat, you know, we've got this game at the Palestra, and I know you've wanted to play there all your life, but our assistant coach just quit, and you're going to be the new assistant. So go," he says, "I want you to go scout this other game." That's how his coaching career began. So he was coaching before he got out of college.
Zone defense again by Louisville. See Keith Williams, he's really hawking McLeod right now. I think what they've got is a 4-man zone, and Keith Williams is chasing McLeod.
Irving Thomas, well, he's got a good touch on those short little 8-10 foot shots. And Thomas has 5.
He and Dawson and McLeod really are the 3 guys that shoot the ball the best, I think, for Florida State.
Very little ragged play at the beginning as Sullivan takes the shot, and the foul is going to be on Irving Thomas, and that's going to be his 3rd.
Roger, whatever gland it is in your body that produces the adrenaline coming out, I think it's working overtime here tonight, because I think both of these clubs are a little too fired up. I think they need to relax a little bit, get into the flow of the game, and you'll start to see the type of basketball we expected to see. Florida State's not shooting the ball very well. They're only at about 41%, but Louisville's shooting 50%, which is about right on their mark.
Taking a look at Everett Sullivan, freshman. He's from Simpsonville, South Carolina. Seems like Denny Crum always brings in 2 or 3 freshmen that contribute immediately.
You know, in the last 5 games, Sullivan's come off the bench and averaged 10 points a game. That's a pretty good job for a freshman.
Well, you know, the 3 freshmen, Cornelius Holden, Sullivan, and Brewer, are combining for 20% of the Louisville playing time. And in that process, averaging 16 points, 6 rebounds, and nearly 4 assists a game. So, I mean, that's a significant contribution from your freshman group.
Yeah, the Louisville bench has only been outscored 4 times this year. Pretty good for playing 22 basketball games. Look at Dawson. Good move in the lane. Good block.
And that was the freshman, Sullivan. 4-on-2. And see the hesitancy over there. LaBradford Smith kicked it to the wing, and Sullivan just couldn't decide what to do with it.
Ran the break properly. Smith got the ball in the hands of Sullivan, but he just made the wrong move, trying to get a little bit closer to the basket. Louisville backs off of that pressure. They really haven't thrown the pressure, the real tough pressure the Cardinals are capable of when they really get after you on defense. Now, again, look at the defense Louisville's got. LaBradford Smith is now chasing George McLeod. I'm not sure about that.
David White, 31, is checked into the game now. Not much of an offensive player, but a tremendous defensive player, good passer, rebounder.
I want to say I'm not sure about LaBradford Smith with that bad ankle. I don't know if I'd be chasing McLeod with a guy who's got a bum ankle.
McLeod misses offensive board, blocked by Sullivan. That's his second block. And when you think blocks for Louisville, you think Purvis Ellison. But Sullivan's come up with a couple of big ones. McLeod has not scored, and we're past the 10-minute mark of the first half. And Kenny Payne on the turnaround shot. He's got 9.
Kenny Payne will give you a little bit of offensive move inside, a little bit outside. He can do it all. A little bit more pressure that time. Boy, Sullivan's all over Mitchell.
And he's talking to him.
Yeah, a few words there. A little exchange of verbiage there.
I don't think it was exactly verbiage.
Well, I'm not going to repeat what they said.
I can read lips.
McLeod wide open. Boy, he cannot buy one.
Payne the rebound, and LaBradford Smith seems to be moving okay now on that ankle. Sullivan squares up and in. Boy, what a nice touch by the freshman.
What a nice pass by LaBradford Smith. Everett Sullivan off the bench, really giving the Cardinals a big lift.
21-16. And the Cards on a 5-0 run right now.
You can see right, boy, they got it jammed up on the inside. There's nobody outside guarding anyone.
Mitchell misses from 3-point land. Payne got the rebound, and here comes Smith. He's got Sullivan on the wing. Payne steps in, 2 points, got it. Kenny Payne.
Somebody's got to guard Payne for Florida State. He's going to have a career tonight.
11 for Payne. And it's a 7-0 run, and underneath the basket, White and Kimbrough were having words. 23-16. Louisville leads it.
Communication between these two clubs underneath the basket. You're going to see underneath here. Now watch right underneath. There's Kimbrough right there. See the little push off? Now look at this. See, there's the bump right there. Kimbrough started to walk away.
And White
had one more little
shiver right there. And the officiating crew, one of the best, decided to let that one pass, but with a warning to the two players. McLeod 0 for 6 from the floor. Florida State shooting just 35%. Louisville 52%.
That's the reason right now they've got that 7-point lead. Well, Florida State really wants to pull it out and look at the half-court game right now.
Mitchell loses it inside, but the foul is going to be on LaBradford Smith. As checking into the game right now for Florida State is a young man who is a tremendous football player besides a basketball player. And that's Brad Johnson, a 6'6 sophomore from Black Mountain, North Carolina. As Denny Crum well tanned and enjoying a free day here in Tallahassee. Did a little fishing
yesterday.
Yeah. Loves to fish.
Okay, LaBradford Smith's doing a nice job on McLeod right now. McLeod needs to get a little unraveled. Get something inside. Take it inside.
Turnaround shot, got it.
There you go.
With his back to the basket after facing up and missing his first 6. Felton Spencer, boy, guarded by Tad Hunter at 6'7". That's a mismatch. Kimbrough loses it.
That's a good call. That's a good call.
It'll go to Florida State.
Was it Dawson?
Yeah,
it was Dawson.
Mays is back in the game. Now he has it taken by LaBradford Smith, but gets it back. And then the foul on LeBradford.
LeBradford arguing the call right now.
He's saying that he got fouled after he initially stole it, and that was right in front of us, and I'd have to agree with LeBradford on that one, but they didn't catch it. There's the padding. It's not really a cast, but it's more protective covering. Johnson with it, 14. Good three-point shooter. Dawson, and he is ripped. No call. Hunter gets it and in.
Well, Dawson thought he was fouled, and I'm not sure he wasn't. Good follow-up by Tad Hunter.
23-20.
There it is.
Ellison has it stripped. Boy, Dawson did a good job coming around.
Purvis had stars in his eyes. He was wheeling and ready to head for that basket. Dawson with a good defensive play.
Sullivan checks back in for Louisville, and Bradford Smith still talking to the officials. Will sit down. 6:52 to go, first half. Low scoring first half. Payne won't go. Tip try, and McLeod comes down with it.
Whoa!
Senior move. Mays, three-pointer. Dawson, the offensive board, and in.
Was that quick?
Tony Dawson with 11.
That ball hit his hands. He didn't put it on the floor. He went right back up with it. Listen to the crowd. Whoa!
And they got Johnson covering Payne. And the whistle over on the side. The foul's going to be on Dawson. That'll be his first. You know, Pat Kennedy's done a tremendous job reviving the interest in the basketball program here at Florida State. Remember, Hugh Durham and Dave Cowens were here early on. Durham left in '78, and as I mentioned at the top, attendance has increased 125%. He has gone out and beaten, I won't say the bushes, but the palm trees of Florida to find the fans. And
he's done a great job, too. His third year, like he said, I was making 3 speeches a day all over the state. He has generated a lot of excitement in this basketball program in Florida. How about the total athletic program at Florida State? The baseball team's ranked. The football team
top 10 all the way around. Ellison, turnaround, won't go, tipped outside. And here comes Mays. McLeod, three-point, no, inside.
Oh, what a pass.
Hunter. Pat Hunter. And Florida State on a run of their own. They have ripped off 7 unanswered points, and it's 24-23.
That was an unselfish play, Roger. There's a guy giving the ball up inside. He could have taken that three-point shot.
Sullivan, three-point line. Ooh, has he gotten a touch? Everett Sullivan.
Louisville fans, be happy. You're going to have that man around for a while. Good pass by McLeod again.
Mays won't go, and Payne the rebound.
You got to finish the play. You got to finish it.
Boy, Sullivan is a cool-looking freshman, isn't he? Ellison, that's his spot. Won't go, and Hunter pulling down over 8 rebounds a game. And you know what? He wants the basketball. He would rather get a rebound than a point.
Oh, he loves going up on that glass. And he does soar.
Look at this, three-point NBA style. But man, I mean, he was so far out, the defender thought he was kidding. Williams says, let's just take it inside for the easy 2.
Nobody's there to stop Keith Williams. He went in, and there wasn't a white jersey anywhere near him to defend against him.
Well, you know, Mays has been out of action. He's anxious to get back in to prove that he's all right. And I think that last shot, he might have to plead temporary insanity because, I mean, that was so far out that wasn't even close.
Yeah, there are better ways to do it than taking that shot.
28-24 now as Louisville's come back and gotten themselves a couple of buckets to get on top with 4:20 to go first half.
Well, Florida State really likes the half-court game in this particular situation. Look at Johnson.
In and out, tipped around. Sullivan has it. And in. Count it, but the foul's going to be on Sullivan. He's got 9 off the bench.
Roger, he's one of those freshmen in the Metro Conference that I think really is the future for this league. They've got several good ones. They've got a kid by the name of Weatherspoon down in southern Mississippi who's leading this league in rebounding as a freshman. Eric Sullivan obviously is one.
Mitchell.
Ernest Smith of Memphis State is one of those players, too. He's a good one.
Derek Mitchell has checked back into the game right now. Mitchell averaging just over 8 points, a couple of assists a game. And Mays will sit down, and they'll walk back to the other end as Pat Kennedy and his coaching staff. You know, Pat came in with the attitude that, look, we know this is football country, but we think we've got something with basketball, and we're not going to have a chip on our shoulder, and we're going to coexist and work with you. I think that's been the most important thing about his emergence here at Florida State. Dawson misses it.
Well, Florida State, a club that is leading the Metro in free throw shooting, is 73%, really struggling from the line in this first half.
And Florida State, a team that averages over 93 a game, has scored only 24 so far in the first half with 350. Has it been good defense by Louisville, Larry? They're not shooting the ball.
No, I just don't think they're shooting the ball very well. We had them down at 41% just a few minutes ago, and it's probably less than that now.
Bad pass by Ellison. Hunter comes up with it. 6-point Louisville lead with 3.5 to go. First half.
Denny Crum just told Purvis Ellison as he went by the bench, shoot the ball. Shoot it.
Ellison has but 4 points.
You know, the one thing that Purvis Ellison does so very well, a lot of people don't talk about, he's a great passer.
McLeod, Payne the rebound. Looks like he's falling away on that outside shot, Larry. Not leaning into it at all.
Not a lot of defense on him. He's just not making those shots. He's a 45% shooter, not only from 2-point range, but 3-point range, too, as Tad Hunter's all over Purvis Ellison's back.
You would think that with Ellison's ability down low, that they could just go into him, and Florida State with Thomas already with 3 fouls, that they could get Hunter in foul trouble also. Because, you know, there's no way Hunter can guard Ellison straight up.
Well, the thing that happens, though, once Ellison receives the ball down in there is they collapse on him very quickly. That's why Louisville's very successful in having that inside-outside game.
3:05 to go first half, and Louisville leads it by 6.
Your home is really worth, how much it means to you. When it comes time to buy or sell, no one knows more or cares more about the American home than Better Homes and Gardens.
The multiple port fuel injected Ford Escort GT. Because what's rock without roll?
Get 4.9% financing or $500 cash bonus on 89 Escort.
It's just a pure and natural beer for you. So icy cold, so crisp, so clear.
Of all the beers that are cold filtered, only one has that distinctively clean, crisp taste. Beechwood aged Budweiser, the king of beers.
1972, a great moment in Florida State basketball history. Hugh Durham, now the coach at Georgia. The head coach as Florida State met John Wooden, Bill Walton, and UCLA in the finals. They beat North Carolina to get there. And watch Walton down low. And a fellow by the name of Ron King says, "Big Redhead, get it out of here." But the Bruins would eventually prevail in that Final Four in 72. And the likes of King and Otto Petty went down to defeat 81-76. And this is without a doubt the most excitement in Florida State basketball since that particular moment.
And you know, Roger, the next year, 72-73, they were #1 preseason.
Right. Ellison off the glass, won't go. Sullivan was there. And it's going to be Louisville basketball. Kimbrough's been very quiet so far for Louisville.
Well, again, he's one of those players that's been very inconsistent, I think, for the Cardinals. They get a good game out of him every now and then. Payne every now and then. Smith every now and then. What they need to do is have all these guys hitting on the cylinders at the same time, and they can beat anybody in the country.
In other words, they haven't peaked yet.
Well, I'm not sure there's really peak. I just think it's inconsistency. The part of the club not really coming together, everybody coming to play at the same time.
That's Kimbrough, 44.
Good move there.
Yeah, leaner on the bench, and they're going to call the offensive foul on Tony Kimbrough. That'll be his second. He's got just 2 points.
Watch it. Tony Dawson's going to guard him on the inside, and Tony Kimbrough is going to try to take it in there. Good move right here. A little bit of an acting job. I don't know if I'd have called. That'd have been a no call on my book.
So they'll march down to the other end. And going to the line for Florida State will be Aubrey Boyd, a 6'6" sophomore from Macon, Georgia. Macon's turned out some pretty good guards here the last couple of years, haven't they?
Got a good one up with the Bullets by the name of Malone, who can shoot it. Jeff Malone.
All out of the same high school, too, aren't they? Southwest
Macon.
Yeah.
That's exactly right. Oh, you know your high school basketball there, Raj, huh? That's all right.
Been hanging around you, you know. You tell me about all those good players in the Atlanta area, all throughout Georgia.
Well, I'll tell you what, Southwest Macon beat Douglas the other day, and Douglas had climbed to #8 in the USA Today poll in high school basketball.
Top 20 scores and highlights. Preview Wake Forest, North Carolina, and a feature on Todd Lichty, who's one of the outstanding guards in the country.
Stanford's one of those sleeper clubs, you know? They're one of those teams that could very easily end up in the Final 8, maybe even Final 4. They're a good team.
Beat Arizona this year. Mike Montgomery's done a tremendous job. 30-26 with 2:13 to go first half. Payne can't get it. Tipped around McLeod. Has got a 4-on-1.
Whoa!
Tony Dawson.
You know what? That was a smart handling of the break. McLeod could have given the ball up a little earlier. He put the pressure on the defense. Williams was the only guy back. He made the good pass and got the jam. Good work.
Boy, very aggressive defense right now by the Seminoles. Three-point land, Everett Sullivan. The rebound brought down by Mitchell.
Nobody there, no help. Smart play.
1:35 to go.
Good pass. Look at McLeod.
Felton Spencer comes away with it. Keith Williams, yeah.
Oh, that was a heads-up offensive play. Keith Williams looked up and saw that nobody was guarding him, and they all had their back to him. And he took it right down the lane. That was a heads-up play on his part.
32-28, 1:10 left to go first half.
Well, they've really extended that defense. Look at Ellison. Now he backs off. He's guarding Mitchell.
Mitchell really tried to force it. Sullivan is ahead of the pack, and he'll go all the way.
No one back. Somebody has to rotate back. I tell you, Louisville's getting a lot of easy layups in this first half. That's why their shooting percentage is as high as it is.
Payne and Sullivan with 11 apiece. 34-28. You see the clock, 36 seconds, and Florida State will hold for the final shot.
It's about a 1-second differential between the shot clock and the halftime. I'm feeling both these clubs look tired. I'm not sure why. It's a little hot out here.
I think the emotion of the moment, it's about 84 degrees outside here today in Tallahassee, but I think that the buildup for this game might have taken a lot out of both teams. Boyd nearly got it in. The foul's going to be on Williams. Boyd did a tremendous job to get that shot off and hit it off the front of the rim. First foul on Williams, and with just 4 seconds remaining.
Denny Crum off the bench immediately yelled to Keith Williams, "Don't foul. I didn't want to foul." They got one.
Florida State shooting 32%. As Aubrey Boyd will go to the line, and on the season a 70% free throw shooter, but Metro has kicked it up to 84%.
You know, Louisville's really taking the crowd out of this basketball game. If Florida State gets any kind of run at all, these people will be on their feet. Great turnout here in Tallahassee for this game this evening.
Well, talking to a lot of people at the shoot-around today, they felt that this basketball game tonight is the biggest game by two of the highest-ranked teams in the history of the state of Florida. And the largest crowd ever to see a game here in Tallahassee as Boyd gets them both.
Williams has got to get it up quick.
Sullivan, three-point land. And at halftime at the Leon County Civic Center in Tallahassee, Florida, the Cardinals of Louisville lead the Seminoles of Florida State 34-30. Let's go back to our ESPN studios and John Saunders.
Happened to them at Freedom Hall, the visiting team going in and pulling off the victory. Let's move to other news, and extremely bad news for the Ohio State Buckeyes. Their leading scorer and point guard and star player Jay Burson is lost to them for the season. It happened against Iowa. Ed Horton then, trying to stop the layup, just clips the head of Burson. He breaks his cervical vertebrae. Coach Gary Williams was extremely emotional about the loss of his leading scorer.
As a team, our concern right now is with Jay's ability to recover and just be able to go on with his life once he's through the recovery period. It's good to hear that Jay will have, if things go well, the opportunity to play again, because I think he's earned that level with his play this year.
Jay Burson will have to wear a traction brace for approximately 12 weeks. There was no spinal cord damage. That is good news, and he should be able to pursue a pro career in the National Basketball Association. Our best wishes go out to Jay Burson. Stay with us. We're at halftime.
Ellison had been their most steadiest player. He had some trouble, too. He was only 2 of 7 from the floor.
Yeah, he struggled in the first half, too. And really, when you look at the inside game, I thought for Louisville really was lacking tonight. They didn't get what they have been getting inside. Ellison only had 4 points. What really helped them was Everett Sullivan coming off the bench. If he hadn't come in there with those 11 points, they'd have really been struggling.
We saw something unusual here. With about 8 minutes to go in the halftime, Denny Crum walked out of the locker room with his sport jacket off and went and sat down on the bench over there. Those are a bunch of Florida State cheerleaders, and I think probably what he said is, guys, I saw enough in the first half. I'm just going to go out and sit down. You get ready to play or you don't.
You know, you left the team in there.
Yeah.
The team stayed in the locker room. He just came out here and sat down.
Sometimes the best things you can say are the things you don't say, and maybe that's what Denny Crum did at halftime. 34-30, the Cardinals lead the Seminoles. We'll be back to Tallahassee with the second half in just a moment.
We're not a company, but no company has more pride in what they do, or more pride in how well they do it. We offer you a meaningful and fulfilling future, one that goes far beyond the ordinary, one that brings with it the respect and admiration of Americans everywhere. We're not a company, we're your country. We're the Air Force, the Marines, the Army, the Navy. We're the Armed Forces. It's a great place to start.
For the pride, for the dream, for the love, and for the team, for the sweat and for the drive, for the reason you strive.
For all you do, the clean, crisp taste of Beechwood aged Budweiser.
This Bud's for you. This Bud's for you.
Yo, this is Morris Blackman, and this is my main man, Michael Jordan. And this is a pair of tight Air Jordans from Nike. This is something you can buy. And this is a patented, vicious, high-flying 360 slam dunk. This is something you cannot do. Let me repeat myself. This you can buy. You cannot do this. Can. No!
At Volkswagen, we've been getting some good news lately. Car and Driver,
If you're a discriminating enthusiast on a budget, look no further.
Automobile Magazine,
Get one while they're hot.
Road and Track.
They did all car nuts a favor.
And here's some good news for you. For a limited time, get 4.9% APR financing on all Jetta, Golf, and GTI models. Plus, factory-to-dealer incentives now make additional savings possible. But hurry, good news travels fast.
ESPN's NCAA basketball, Louisville versus Florida State, is brought to you by the German-engineered Volkswagens and your Volkswagen dealers. By the U.S. Armed Forces, it's a great place to start. And by Nike, who reminds you to just do it.
Roger Twybill, Larry Conley back with you at the Leon County Civic Center in Tallahassee, Florida. Great crowd here tonight. And I'd have to say the crowd's been better than the game so far. 34-30. Louisville leads Florida State. And I think you're right, Larry. I think the players were so pumped up at the top. They came out and the shots weren't falling, and consequently neither team shooting particularly well, but particularly Florida State struggling. Let's take a look at the field goal percentage right now. Louisville 45%, Florida State just 35.
That's pretty indicative of the way the first half was played. Neither club really shooting it well at all. Let's look at the three-point field goals. Louisville was 1 of 5, Florida State 1 of 9, so that'll give you some indication.
But the rebounding, the big difference in the edge going to Louisville as they out-rebound Florida State 24-16.
And we're set to go. Second half. First time Florida State's been on national television this year. The only top 20 team that hadn't cracked the national scene. So hope you're enjoying tonight's game. Louisville and Florida State. And we'll have Florida State against Saturday night against Memphis State at the Mid-South Coliseum as Kimbrough misses and Hunter goes up for the rebound.
Pat Hunter way up in the air for that one. He had 4 rebounds in the first half, so he just garnered his 5th. Well, Bradford Smith all over McLeod out top. You know, this is a good way to play him. Make sure you put pressure on him. Make him do something with the ball.
Well, he tried to get fancy there. Tipped around. Finally, Kimbrough comes down with it. Irving Thomas, remember, with 3 fouls. And that's the 3rd time that Williams has taken it straight in uncontested. But that time, Mitchell able to get back and draw the charge. And on Keith Williams, that's his 2nd.
Oftentimes, you've got to use very quick judgment when you're handling the basketball on the break. This time, Keith Williams used bad judgment. He should have pulled up and taken that little 6-foot jump shot right in front of the basket. Like you said, Roger, the other 2 times he was able to get baskets off of it, but there was no room there.
Irving Thomas, number 30, he has 3 fouls. Mitchell, Dawson, McLeod, and Tat Hunter, the same starting 5 for Florida State. And Payne and Williams, LeBradford, Smith, Purvis Ellis, and Tony Kimbrough, the original group for Louisville, back on the floor to start the second half.
A lot more pressure by Louisville this time out top. Good pass inside, and they threw it away.
Kimbrough came up with a steal. 3-point land. Tony Kimbrough won't go. And Dawson with the rebound. You notice Dawson, when he runs, there is that slight limp. We mentioned at the top, the left leg about 1 inch shorter than the right, but what a great competitor. And timeout called by Florida State. Things just starting off kind of ragged for the Seminoles. 18:46 to go.
Celebrate the last home game of our winning season.
I don't know. What are you gonna do?
I don't know.
I'd go to college.
Me too.
If I had the money.
Yeah.
So what are you gonna do?
I don't know. What are you gonna do?
You don't want those fries.
What are you gonna do, Jack? Eat your way to college?
Hey, really? I'm going to college on the new GI Bill. You serve full-time in the armed forces or part-time in the reserves, and you earn a lot of money for tuition.
The GI Bill.
Are you using that pickle?
For young men and women in the armed forces, it's a great place to start. See a local military recruiter.
At Volkswagen, we've been getting some good news lately. Car and Driver,
If you're a discriminating enthusiast on a budget, look no further.
Automobile Magazine,
Get one while they're hot.
Road and Track.
They did all car nuts a favor.
And here's some good news for you. For a limited time, get 4.9% APR financing on all Jetta, Gulf, and GTI models. Plus, factory-to-dealer incentives now make additional savings possible. But hurry, good news travels fast.
I need you back.
Let's talk.
Purvis Ellison, the 2nd all-time leading scorer in Louisville history behind Darrell Griffith, and 3rd all-time leading rebounder, and of course the top shot blocker in their history, really has had a struggle tonight. Though.
Well, you know, he's actually blocked more shots than the entire Florida State team. He has 63 blocks, and Florida State only has 55.
Yeah. And the steal by Louisville. LeBradford, Smith, and Williams. They're going to play catch, but Williams will take it all the way.
Well, that's what's discouraging. You call a timeout to get something set up, get your club organized and ready to go, and you throw the ball away, and Louisville scores off of it. Pat Kennedy really upset.
You just mentioned to me during the break, as poorly as Florida State's played at the time, they're only behind by 4, just down by 6.
And they have played very poorly. I mean, shooting 35% in the first half and turning it over already in the second half.
Tat Hunter misses, but Mitchell gets the loose ball.
Good pass.
Good pass into Hunter.
Oh, was that a crisp pass, huh? Little hook pass.
Oh, that could have been a carry right there on LeBradford Smith. Payne, good pump fake, and in off the window. Woo.
Kenny Payne. Boy, does he work that baseline. He is a baseline jump shooter. Good hustle by Payne to catch up with Mitchell that time. Irving Thomas, the center, out top now. Now McLeod comes out to pick it up again. The other 4 guys are in the zone. LeBradford Smith is chasing McLeod. Dawson with a good move.
Boy, the intimidation, though, by Ellison. It'll go over to Louisville. I'll tell you what, Dawson took it down the lane. Ellison came over, and it didn't have a chance, as Everett Sullivan's going to check in, and LeBradford Smith will sit down. Sullivan had 11 points in the first half.
Yeah, I had him back in there, too, the way he played in the first half.
Keep in mind, LeBradford Smith with the sprained ankle last night in practice here.
Florida State still man-to-man.
Louisville on their way to their 45th consecutive winning season. A tremendous basketball tradition. And Ellison on the baseline won't go. I was going to mention, it doesn't look like Ellison's really looking for his offense. It's almost like, well, maybe I should shoot it because I haven't for a while.
I think Florida State has forced him out of that position he likes so well. He's very comfortable on that block in low, and they've just forced him out to that baseline and even a little bit higher.
38-32. Louisville with a 6-point lead. It's been no bigger than that as Mitchell gets it inside and Hunter puts it up and in. So Tad Hunter, he has 10.
Mitchell with a little bit more pressure now on Williams. Block foul.
And on Mitchell, that'll be his second. Mitchell, averaging over 8 points a game, did not score in the first half. As a matter of fact, the Florida State backcourt between McLeod and Mitchell, scoring over 31 points a game, had but 2 in the first half.
Turn it over.
Yeah, Mitchell's got it. Misses it, and Kimbrough the rebound.
Well, that was a blown opportunity for Florida State.
There's the Purvis Ellison we know.
That's the one that he likes to get right down low like that. Florida State had a little lapse in their defense there. Purvis took advantage of it.
Back to a 6-point lead for Louisville. Sullivan, very aggressive defensively. Look at the freshman on the senior McLeod out there.
Pretty good matchup zone right now by Louisville. Keith Williams going to commit the foul. You know, Louisville's doing some different wrinkles now with those with that defense they've got.
That's a 3rd foul on Williams. Williams, who didn't play the first semester this year because of academic problems, come back. All 5 starters for the Cardinals for the 5 starters from the city of Louisville. And Thomas on the baseline. So Irving Thomas with his first 2 of this half. He's got 7.
I really like the way he shoots the basketball. Got a nice follow through. Nice touch.
Williams from 3-point land. The tip by Kimbrough and in.
Big offensive basket. Nobody blocked him off. He went straight up and tipped it in.
Kimbrough the rebound. 42-36. A chance now for Louisville to get their biggest lead of the night. Kimbrough, well, you know, it looked like he was going to shoot it. Tried to get it to Ellison. Payne came up with it. And it'll be Louisville basketball.
Nobody wanted to come up with a loose ball. I think there were 8 sets of hands that touched it before it went out of bounds. Neither one of these clubs look really sharp to me, Roger. You know, for 2 clubs that are ranked in the top 10, they don't really look alert, quick, sharp tonight. Maybe it could be the heat. Maybe it's a little warm in here tonight.
Brewer, number 11, is checked in. He's a freshman for Louisville out of Bardstown, Kentucky. Steal. This is McLeod. Sullivan stripped it away in a nice defensive play. You know, Larry, you're talking about, well, it's hot in here tonight, but this is the 23rd game of the year for Louisville. It's the 22nd game of the year for Florida State. And you hit a certain time of the season when there's a wall there, and you just kind of got to get through it, don't you?
Well, you know, Pat Kennedy made that point today to us in practice when we were standing around talking. He says the hardest game to coach, the hardest games to coach in college basketball are games 18 to 23. He said they're the absolute hardest games to coach because everybody hates everybody else. You're tired of looking at your teammate. You're tired of your coach. And all you want to do is just keep playing and get to the tournaments.
McLeod just can't get anything down. Brewer loses it, but gets it back. Everett Sullivan. And it's going to go to Louisville.
And a pretty good call by Don Rutledge. Tony Dawson hit the basketball and slapped it off of the, it looks like the brace on the backside of the backboard there. And Louisville gets the ball back with a chance now to extend that lead.
David White, sophomore from St. Petersburg, 31, checks in. I mean, he's pushing and shoving Purvis Ellison inside, but Payne is free. And in, Kenny Payne. He's got 15. Quickly, Dawson. Traveling Zakar. And look at Pat Kennedy is just going wild over there. You know, there's a story that last year in the West Regional against Iowa, he stamped his feet so hard that some spinal fluid seeped out, and he had numbness in both legs.
Got to be careful. Get on the tartan floor and do that.
Blocked by White. Foul's going to be on Louisville. Going to be on Purvis Ellison, and that's his first.
The foul is called on number 42, Purvis Ellison, his first personal, 13 foul Louisville.
Roger, I really still feel like both of these clubs are out of sync. You know, nothing is flowing smoothly for either team. One will get a run, then they'll start making a move, and then some turnovers, some missed opportunities on rebounds.
8-point lead, biggest lead for Louisville, but not for long. As Irving Thomas hits it from outside. 44-38. 13:35 to go. From the Leon County Civic Center, the crowd starts to get on their feet now, urging their defense on. Purvis can put it to the floor and draws the foul. Oh, they call a foul away from the basketball. They're going to call it on 50, Felton Spencer, away from the ball.
It's kind of a ghost call. I don't know where that one came from.
Dawson will come back in, and White sits down. You know the difference between Kennedy and Crum as coaches, and they're both very successful, is McLeod will get a chance for his second basket of the night.
And now the Seminoles are down 4.
So after being down by 8, they're down by 4. And Keith Williams will get up and check back in. Payne, he's fouled. Dawson fouls him. Second foul on Dawson. I was going to mention the difference between Kennedy and Crum, both successful coaches, but at different stages of their careers, that Denny Crum can take an off day and go bass fishing in Florida, whereas Kennedy, the man you see there, has got to go out and make about 2 speeches and try to generate interest from his program.
You know, that was an interesting move right there. Kenny Payne, when Denny Crum saw that the crowd was getting into this basketball game, immediately went to Payne. He got the basketball and had that good open shot, which he's made a lot of tonight from that position, and got Dawson to commit the foul. Just like when they're getting in trouble, they kind of look to Payne, the guy, to really carry them through.
84% free throw shooter on the year and 77 in the Metro. He's got 16 points. Payne's one of their top 3-point shooters.
Got a great release. Boy, he got a nice shot.
And the foul on Brewer. And a word there from Don Rutledge to Irving Thomas.
Watch it again. Now here's Thomas with the basketball. There's the foul committed by Holden. No, it's Brewer that got him right there. He threw an elbow at Williams. I think Williams kind of backed out of the way. In fact, he did back out of the way.
You would have backed out of the way.
Absolutely. He starts throwing those jobbies. I'm down underneath of him, trying to steal the ball. Here comes the pressure again by Louisville now. They're 2-2-1. Back off of it. Florida State not having much trouble. Almost lost. Almost.
45-45 point. Louisville lead. 12:45 to go. Bradford Smith is back in there for the Cardinals. I want to tell you, White just ran right through LaBradford Smith. Boy, White is a physical specimen. He's 6'6" and 230. And he is number 31. And watch him come through the top of the key. Right there.
He got him pretty good. Hey, you're 6'5", you're 225. You got to throw the weight around a little bit, huh?
Bobby Bowden might have seen that. Bobby Bowden might have seen that call.
He's already fighting for one guy on this team. And the way he recruited in football, I'm not sure he needs him.
Seminoles football team, one of the top 2 recruiting classes in the nation.
Florida State back man-to-man now. Pretty good pressure by Florida State. Payne again. Look at Ellison. Oh, he's going to get the foul, but that was a great effort.
Second foul on Purvis Ellison. One of only 5 players in Louisville history to gather over 1,000 rebounds in his career.
Watch him come from nowhere. He's not even in the picture here. Now look at him come in there. Well, that is a great move to the offensive glass. Yeah, he's going to get a foul, but great effort.
Well, you just don't think of these two teams in such a low-scoring game. 45-40.
Yeah, the first game was 81-78. Seems like they're both content to want to get into a half-court game. Not a lot of transition on either club. Nice pass. Good fake.
Spencer, yeah, he fouled him. Felton Spencer commits a foul. This has been a kind of an unusual year for Louisville as some people are throwing some things from upstairs. 13,339. That's a Leon County Civic Center record. I was going to mention, you know, Louisville lost their first 2 games. They've lost 5 on the year. 4 of them have been by 3 points or less. The other was 6. As you see the Kennedy impact, the sellouts this season, the new attendance tonight, but 3 of the losses for Louisville have been buzzer beaters. The most recent one against UCLA on the goaltending call at the buzzer against Purvis Ellison.
Well, that was a tough call to take. But you don't win or lose games just on one call. I really thought Louisville made a great comeback to get ahead of UCLA in that second half, and just kind of ran out of gas, and UCLA came right back at them. Jim Herrick's got a nice club out there. I like the way they play.
Mitchell misses the free throw. Mitchell is yet to score tonight. Still a 5-point lead, 45-40.
Pretty good pressure again by Florida State. They're extending that defense now. You're seeing a lot more pressure by the Seminole defense.
LeBradford, what a great athletic move to get it off. Tipped around, and finally Dawson comes away with it. McLeod, 3-point land. He leaned into that one. It won't go, and Mitchell loses it, but Tad Hunter comes up with it. Stripped from behind by Williams, and the whistle from underneath. And the foul's going to be on Williams, and that's his 4th.
It's on Kimbrough. They called the foul on Kimbrough underneath.
Okay.
You know, I really thought Williams got the basketball that time. I wasn't sure who the foul was going to go against.
Because it looked like a clean block.
Yeah. Florida State shooting the bonus now. No, that was a 2-shot foul, wasn't it?
86% free throw shooter, the best on the team, and 89% in the Metro Conference. They've only been to the line 9 times tonight, and as we mentioned earlier on the season, averaging 26 free throws a game.
We're not a company.
But we'll give you a chance to work where there's always a challenge.
We'll give you opportunities to learn, to develop.
To perfect skills that you thought were beyond your reach.
We'll help you build a career that can reward you for the rest of your life.
We're not a company.
We're your country.
We're the Army.
The Navy.
The Air Force.
The Marines.
We're the Armed Forces.
It's a great place to start.
You're looking at the most grueling automotive test of the year. To simply survive, you've got to be good. But to emerge as 4x4 of the year, you've got to be the best. Toyota's SR5 B6 is the 4x4 of the year. Toyota quality, Who could ask for anything more?
Roger, when you're 6'8", like Kenny Payne is, you can get the basketball inside, you can get it to the baseline. If your teammates will find you, Kenny Payne will find the basketball and get it in the hole. Here he kisses the one right off the glass. Now watch him post up on the inside. You saw his movement toward the ball. Now watch him catch it, just turn, good pump fake, and go straight up and shoot it. Got a great release.
16 points for Kenny Payne, averaging just over 12 on the season. He's going to take a breather here right now as Everett Sullivan has checked in. So the big lineup with both Felton Spencer and Purvis Ellison in there right now. And George McLeod, 2 of 12 from the field, 0 for 6 from three-point range. Larry, does he move, or does he shoot it better off the move or from the stationary?
Well, I think he does, but the one thing I think that Louisville's done to him tonight is really taken him out of his game. I think their defense on him in particular has been outstanding. Louisville's played a 4-man zone, and they've chased McLeod all night long, and I think it's been very effective. Obviously, he's only 2 for 12.
45-42 now. Florida State's got it down to 3. Backdoor, in and out. Ellison won't go. Tipped out, and here come the Seminoles. 3-on-2 with Mitchell in the middle. He loses it. And it's going to be off. Louisville. No, they're going to give it to Louisville. Boy, a chance to cut it to 1 right there. You know, Florida State, Larry, just keeps hanging around. They were down by as many as 8. They've got it down to 3 right now.
And as poorly as they're shooting, as many times as they turned the ball over to be within 3 at this juncture of the game, I think they're very fortunate. Tony Kimbrough, same spot.
And the whistle. Foul's going to be on Dawson. That'll be his 3rd. So Irving Thomas and Dawson both with 3 and 10-24. And checking into the game will be Lorenzo Hands right now, a 6'3" freshman from West Palm Beach. Hands averaging just about 6 minutes a game. He wears number 5.
Pretty good looking freshman. I've seen him a couple of times this year.
Boy, Florida State's had a great recruiting year in basketball too. And they're still in the running for Douglas Edwards in the news from Miami High School. And I understand there's a junior down there who's 6'11" at Miami High, who will also be the subject of intense recruiting wars.
Kimbrough 1 for 2. Got 10:24 left to go. Uh-oh, McLeod got him beat. Good pass. Dawson will go in.
Missed it. And Kimbrough comes away with it. 46-42. Purvis will take the 15-footer in.
You got to take that one.
6-point lead.
Well, LeBradford Smith putting great pressure on Hands. I thought Ellison was in our lap. But you would have handled it, Roger.
I know he's got the insurance to cover it.
Watch it again here. Hands trying to get the basketball up here, and look at Purvis Ellison trying to come up with a steal. They paired with the call, said, nope, you're out of bounds, Purvis.
9:53. 48-42. Sullivan almost a steal. McLeod the pass to Hands.
Good recovery by Spencer.
Oh, he had nowhere to go with it. The freshman got caught in the air. Everett Sullivan blocked by McLeod. And Felton Spencer there to put it in.
Good follow by Spencer. That's what you do. You see your guy's going to go in. Your teammate's going to lay it up, follow it up. You never know if he's going to make it.
8-point lead, their biggest lead. Thomas and the foul on Spencer.
Pretty good ball movement that time by Florida State. It was McLeod to Hunter to Thomas.
3rd foul on Felton Spencer.
Watch it again. Denny Crum, jacket off. It's got to be hot in here. Yeah, he never takes his jacket off.
Well, he had the ultra suede on tonight. So
yeah. Look at his pass. McLeod got it to Hunter. Hunter never even came down with the pass. Just made the pass straight back to Irving Thomas, making the cut down the lane. Felton Spencer committed the foul. And when Felton Spencer commits a foul, he does get his money's worth.
Well, he's been to the free throw line over 100 times himself this year. And Irving Thomas now will shoot 2. 79% free throw shooter. Has been shooting 90% though in the conference line.
Well, they're really struggling from the free throw line. They didn't shoot well in the first half.
Missed them both. But tipped in by Tat Hunter.
Well, what a big play that was. Missed 2 free throws and get a tip in on a free throw.
Hunter's got 12, and it's 50-44.
Good pressure, good pressure. Double dribble. He double dribble. Yeah.
Rutledge saw it and waves it off.
Watch this. Now Sullivan's going to pick his dribble up. Look, he can't find anybody. Nobody's open. Good pressure. Then he starts turning around, starting dribbling again.
Get away with it if you can, huh?
I like that move.
Yeah. I think everybody ought to get 2 dribbles once in a while. Dawson underneath. Kimbrough comes away with it. A lot of pressure on Williams in the backcourt.
Gets it up to Ellison. By Ellison.
Sure was.
Like a shortstop going in the hole.
Kimbrough in and out. Dawson in Florida State with 8.5 left to go. They trail it by 6. Well, this is just a matter of survival. Neither team shooting the ball very well. Play a little bit ragged.
Hunter. Move by Hunter down the lane. On the floor.
Yep.
Well, did you see that explosion? He took that one quick step, that first step, and he blew right by Felton Spencer.
And that'll be the 4th foul on Spencer.
Watch Hunter right here. Bam! First step. Got right by. All he did was just grab him.
It's 17 fouls now on Louisville. Cornelius Holden will check into the game for the Cardinals. So it's Holden and Ellison, Sullivan, Payne, and Keith Williams.
I really like watching Hunter play. You know, he averages 8 points, but he averages 8 rebounds a game. And you know, he's a senior. He's 6'7". He's 225. Got a real active body. And it's one of the quotes I hear from a lot from pro scouts. He's got an active body. And he does. He really moves around a lot. He'll go flying through the air. Like I said, once in a while I'll see him. He'll just be flying around the top of that board.
Hunter now shooting the 1-and-1, 64% on the season. But 75 in Metro Conference play.
Makes sense that one of the worst free throw shooters on your team starts converting when it gets crunch time, right?
And Hunter's got 13. Well over a season average of 8.6, as you can see there, and leads Florida State in rebounding. .50-46, a 4-point lead for Louisville, and 8-10 now.
So Mitchell, great defense on Williams. Look at him turning.
Sullivan, strong move and count it. And he's just a freshman.
Everett got fired up. He went to the bench. He went over and high-fived 3 guys on the bench after he did this. Look at this move. Look at that. Reverse, back over the top. Thomas with a foul. Sullivan went straight to the Louisville bench. Give me some 5s, guys. Oh, what a play.
He said, Purvis, get out of the way. I got to go take my standing O.
Well, that was a great play, huh?
Man. Well, you love to see those strong moves to the basket. Nothing was stopping him that time. And he completes the 3-point play. The freshman has 14, and it's 53-46, a 7-point lead for Louisville.
Roger used the key word right there. He completed the play. He got it done.
And keep in mind that Irving Thomas has 4 fouls now.
Good defense by Louisville. Excellent defense by Louisville.
McLeod the leaner.
Tough shot by McLeod.
He's got 6.5. 8 for the game. 53-48. Boy, Florida State's leading scorer, George McLeod, has been shut down tonight. But he's got 7 minutes and 22 seconds left to make something happen.
Yeah, you're watching Louisville in their half-court game right now. I really like the versatility of this Louisville club. If you want to run up and down the floor, they'll run with you. But they can play this kind of game. They can play a defensive game, play their half-court game, work on getting the good shots when they have to.
Payne from Ellison, the left-handed in by Kenny Payne. That will impress the NBA scouts sitting right underneath that basket when he goes with the offhand.
First round.
55-48.
He's a first-rounder.
6:40 left to go. Hunter stolen by Williams. Behind the back, scoots it to Purvis. Ellison. And right now, the biggest lead of the night for the Louisville Cardinals by 9 with 6:30 left to go in Tallahassee.
Pistol Pete Maravich earned his nickname with an NCAA record 44.2 points per game and went on to become an NBA scoring leader with over 15,000 points and a 24.2 average, earning him a place in the Basketball Hall of Fame and making him the greatest legend in basketball history. Pete's last contribution to the sport he loved was a series of 4 instructional videos where he shares all the secrets of his incredible success. ESPN is proud to offer this special series, Pistol Pete's Homework Basketball. Each 40-minute videotape concentrates on one aspect of your game, from ball handling to passing, dribbling, then shooting. You'll get everything from the basics to the moves that made Pistol Pete a legend, including the drills you need to play like a pro. ESPN is offering Pistol Pete's Homework Basketball for just $29.95 for each tape, or $99.95 for the complete set of 4. Call 1-800-544-1000 to put some Pistol Pete in your game. Ask for your free ESPN Sports Video Catalog when you call.
This is the entire contents of the 2-bedroom home of Donna and Bill Hudson, and this is the truck they're going to move in. Now for the demonstration. Following the instructions in our mover's handbook, we're showing how to get all that stuff safely into the truck. And it's a cinch. Okay, guys, now it's your turn. Unload the truck. Move yourself with Ryder. We make the going easy.
Roger, let's watch the defensive work of the Louisville Cardinals. The last 5 minutes of the second half, they have been outstanding. Watch Keith Williams collapse inside, keep the ball away from Irving Thomas, make a great pass to Purvis Ellison, and complete the play. Complete it. Get the ball down inside. Purvis, that's the way to do it.
And Purvis Ellison now with 10 points, averaging over 17 a game. And coming up later tonight here on ESPN, right after our game, it'll be Wake Forest against 8th-ranked North Carolina. And then later this evening, we'll venture out west. Cal will take on 17th-ranked Stanford. That's after Sports Center. And you'll get a chance to see Todd Lichty and company.
I'll tell you something, Lou Campanelli's done a pretty good job with Berkeley out there. California playing very well.
Florida State 43% from the floor. Louisville now also 43%. Biggest lead, though, for the Cardinals, 9. 57-48 with 6:13 now. McLeod, 3, won't go.
Bad shot. A combination of Louisville's good defense on him, and I think some poor shot selection on his part really has been, I really think, the demise of this Florida State basketball team tonight.
Boy, you know what? He has been, as he comes up with a loose ball, the bounce pass off Payne's foot. I was going to say about McLeod, as Boyd takes it and hits it from the side. Aubrey Boyd, he's got 6. McLeod's been a big-time player for them in the final moments of the game. He's won them 3 games at the buzzer this year.
They may be calling on him again. It's a 7-point deficit right now for the Seminoles. Nice cut. Nice cut. Good pass by Sullivan.
Williams has 10. 59-50. Dawson, 3-point land. Won't go. And Payne comes up with it. Everett Sullivan, the freshman, trapped over on the side.
He got out of it.
Yeah.
Well, McLeod and Dawson had him pinned over there right in front of the scorer's table, and he just jumped up and lofted it into the hands of Kenny Payne.
Payne, a few extra steps. They don't see him. And the rebound by Tad Hunter. Those were quick feet right there. Mitchell going around Cornelius Holden. And the foul's going to be on Holden. That is his 3rd.
Louisville already over the limit. Florida State has but 5 team fouls, so they've got a chance to give one more before Louisville goes to the line.
Kimbrough will check back in, and Cornelius Holden will check out. Louisville 17-5 on the year, 6-1 in the Metro. Florida State 19-2 and 7-1 in the Metro. And of course, Florida State on the road Saturday at Memphis State. Larry and I will be there for that one from the Mid-South Coliseum. And Larry, Finch, and crew not out of things yet in the Metro regular season.
Playing pretty well right now. 18-8.
And Derek Mitchell at 66% on the year from the free throw line makes the first one. The Metro tournament in Columbia, South Carolina this year, which is a different site than they've had in years past.
Well, they were going to try to do it there last year and decided they were going to wait one extra year and bring it back over there this year. 5 teams participating in the tournament. Cincinnati, Virginia Tech, and eligible to go to postseason play. They'll have a game on Friday night to determine the 4 semifinalists on Saturday, and then the finals on Sunday at 4 o'clock.
Which will be seen here on ESPN. The miss, but Boyd comes up with a rebound. McLeod, he's a shooter. Got it. Find his three-point land.
He got his 3.
Boy, when you can stroke it, you just never quit. And now it's a 5-point game.
You know what, Roger? It was almost like a big burden had just been lifted off the shoulders of 13,000 people in here.
(59-54) with 4:23. Boy, nearly stolen right there, but LeBradford Smith able to keep control.
Good pressure again by Florida State. Well, they've really forced them out to midcourt. LeBradford's got it inside.
Payne.
Yes.
Kenny Payne with 20.
Kenny Payne causing some pain for Florida State.
61-54. Less than 4 minutes to go.
Is McLeod going to go through this late game heroics again?
3-point land. In and out.
Look at Kimbrough.
He'd like to. I mean, you know, I was going to ask you, Larry, there's a certain point in time where the shooter says, okay, it's not my night, and you stop.
Obviously not with McLeod. Most of the time, those guys just keep firing.
Louisville takes a timeout with 3:40 left.
Well, you probably won't believe it, but I have 407,510 miles.
98,398 miles. My Toyota truck. I love it.
101,978 miles.
213,000 miles.
126,672 miles. My Toyota truck, I love it. And I love it.
I really love it.
1 mile, and I already love it.
Could ask for anything more.
There's free bowling in the frozen food section of your supermarket. It's yours with Swanson Hungry Man dinners and pot pies. Get a free game and an extra portion of meat with Hungry Man's 9 mouth-watering dinners. Robust meals to satisfy your hearty appetite. And get free bowling with Hungry Man's big turkey, beef, and chicken pot pies. Look in Sunday's paper for this free game certificate. Pick up the paper, pick up a Hungry Man, and pick up a spare.
If you've got yourself a car and you've got yourself a house, you could be on your way to some very nice savings. Because with Allstate Homeowners Insurance and an excellent driving record, you could save up to 15% on your auto insurance. And 15% could mean big money for all the important little things. What a day. The Allstate Auto Advantage. Another reason. A member of the Sears Financial Network.
Pat Kennedy, third-year head coach at Florida State. His team down by 7 with 3:40 to go. The storyline, Kenny Payne with 20 points. Louisville shooting 48% from the floor. McLeod just 11. And Florida State shooting just 40. Louisville in their last 3 games, they've averaged around 45%. And they've been out-rebounded. But one of the things tonight is that Louisville has been out-rebounding Florida State, and they've done a great defensive job on George McLeod, the Seminoles' leading scorer.
I'll tell you what, that little matchup zone that they've had on Florida State and having whoever it is chasing McLeod been very successful. And they've alternated, really. They've used Everett Sullivan. They've used Kenny Payne. They've used Bradford Smith. So a lot of guys have been chasing McLeod around. Made it very difficult for him to get any kind of good shots off.
Louisville has been allowing their opponents just 43% from the floor during the year. So they are a good defensive team.
They're going to hold on to the basketball. There it is. Good shot.
Sullivan,
missed it. Air ball. Denny Crum just walking down the bench, shaking his head. Why? Why? Boy, it's open.
Three-point land. Won't go. And there is where Louisville has been the leader in this game. They have gotten the rebounds. Out-rebounded Florida State in the first half.
They killed them in the second half.
Yep. 2:51 left to go. 61-54. Louisville with the lead. Payne got it. Kenny Payne with 22.
Well, you start looking around a storyline. You want to talk about the star of a game? Kenny Payne. He's the guy that's done it for them tonight.
Three-point land. Dawson. That shot hasn't gone. Gets his miss. Puts it up. Won't go. And the whistle. The whistle underneath. The foul going to be on Purvis Ellison. And that is his third as Irving Thomas will check back in.
Watch Tony Dawson follow up his own miss. See Purvis Ellison with his third foul. You're going to see who he's going to commit it on. Here's Dawson from three-point range. You got to break because the ball carried him straight back to him. He went right inside, and Ellison commits the foul as he goes to the lane.
First point for Dawson in the second half. He had 13 in the first half. And has got them both. So 15 for Dawson. 63-56. 2.5 left.
Florida State needs some quick turnovers.
Right there.
One right there.
Kenny Payne, and a penny was just thrown out onto the floor.
And rolled off the floor.
Yeah, fortunately. Williams will check in. And LeBradford Smith comes out. I'll tell you, LeBradford Smith has played a tremendous game. He hasn't done anything statistically, but he's a very badly sprained ankle and has been able to play and contribute. When really in warm-ups tonight, they didn't think he'd be able to play. Boy, Everett Sullivan with a quick move. It will remain Florida State basketball. Three-point shooting, that's been a factor because each team with just 2 from three-point land, but Florida State 2 of 15, and you see on the season 40%.
And Roger, most of that has to come from George McLeod, and he's not been able to convert many at all tonight.
Dawson. And count it.
Big hoop. Big hoop. Tony Dawson in his position. Kimbrough gives him a little shoulder, gets him out of it. Look at it. Pushes off the left arm. Kimbrough saying, I didn't do anything but just stand there.
Fourth foul on Kimbrough, and all of a sudden, Dawson, who had no points here in the second half, has got himself 5 in the last 40 seconds. And it's 63-59, a 4-point game with 2:13 to go, and nearly picked off by McLeod. Sullivan, Purvis, Ellison, the easy 2.
Oh, boy, that's a tough shot. Knowing you got to make that when you're 4 feet out, just stuck it very softly.
McLeod, three-point land, just won't go. And Kimbrough the rebound. Long pass to Payne.
That one might have been the straw that broke the camel's back.
24 points for Kenny Payne, and it's back up to an 8-point lead with 1:43 to go. McLeod. And he's fouled on his way to the basket. Going to be on Keith Williams, and on Williams, that should be his 4th.
You know, Roger, there are a couple of ways you can attack a deficit right now. You're down 8. 1, you take 3s. 2, you drive to the basket and draw fouls. If you draw the fouls, then you got the clock stopped, and you got a chance to make some of it up with free throws.
Timeout. 1:38 left to go. Louisville leads Florida State 67-59.
Oh, give me land, lots of land under sunny skies above. Don't fence me in.
Now UPS delivers to every country in Western Europe, the Pacific Rim, Down Under, and Canada. And because we're so efficient, we can deliver your international parcels and documents for fewer francs, yen, or drachmas than other companies charge.
Don't fence me in.
UPS, we run the tightest ship in the shipping business.
We're not a company.
But outstanding people come to us every day.
People who want to make a contribution to a team and do work that really counts.
People eager to see new places, do the unusual, and find the unusual.
People who become your friends for life. People just like you.
We're not a company.
We're your country.
We're the Navy.
The Air Force.
The Marines.
The Army.
We're the armed forces.
It's a great place to start.
Roger Twyville, Larry Conley with you, Leon County Civic Center. Record crowd here tonight. Largest ever to see a basketball game in the capital of Florida. 13,000 plus, 67. 59 with 1:38 remaining. George McLeod has struggled all night. In the first half, he had but 2 points, but in the second half, he's got 9-11 on the night, and he's going to be shooting 2 right now. Now, Larry, we talked at the top about the number of times Florida State goes to the free throw line, the number of free throws they made. They've just not been able to really get the ball down inside. Louisville's done a tremendous job defensively, clogging the middle. As McLeod gets them both.
And it really is the one place that Florida State has a lot of success is going inside because of those active bodies they've got in there. And Louisville just shut it down tonight.
67-61. Williams is fouled from behind by Mitchell, and that is his 3rd.
So we play the free throw game. Who can make them? Who doesn't?
The only thing I can tell you about George McLeod, and it's the second time I've seen him in person, is that the shot wasn't there, but he kept going to it, and maybe McLeod trying to make his offensive game work. They forgot about getting it down where they have a lot of success. As the ball nearly thrown away.
That's a good point.
Steal, though. But Williams gets it back. And a new shot clock with 1:24 and 35. LaBradford Smith, a bad play right there. Bad play right there by Smith. McLeod nearly throws it away.
Ellison almost came up with a steal.
McLeod.
Well, Louisville really recovering well on defense.
Boyd
hits it. 3-point land. Aubrey Boyd, and it's a 3-point game with 54 seconds to go.
Denny Crum is saying spread it out. He's going to foul LaBradford Smith.
First foul on George McLeod. Denny Crum just told LaBradford Smith, don't even think about shooting it. Just spread it out.
Hey, you're getting pretty good at that lip reading.
Oh, I've been doing too many basketball games. Eh?
He is shooting into a sea of trombones and saxophones.
1 and 1.
Florida State has it with 44 seconds to go. Now, Pat Kennedy says bring it across. 67-64. 37-36 on the respective clocks. McLeod, 3-point land. Tipped up by Hunter, tipped around. Finally, Ellison gets it, and he's fouled by Tat Hunter from behind.
Roger, watch the shot, the miss by McLeod, but watch the follow-up down inside. Tat Hunter had a good chance at a good tip-in right there. I think Payne may have bumped him a little bit, thrown him off. Then Hunter comes back and fouls Purvis Ellison, who's probably the guy you want to foul in this situation because he's not one of their better free throw shooters.
63% on the season, 68 in the Metro. And Florida State wants a timeout. make Never Nervous Purvis think about it just a little bit with 24 seconds left. And coming up next here on ESPN, out of the ACC, it'll be Wake Forest against number 8 North Carolina. Jeff Lebo's had some injury problems again, and Wake Forest is always jumping up and surprising somebody, it seems like.
I still think North Carolina is one of those clubs that's going to be there at the end. B. Smith's got a lot of talent. He's very, very deep. The only position he really hurts at is Lebo's position.
And the only thing that concerns me is J.R. Reed and the fact that he's played an awful lot of basketball this year and how, he'll respond to that coming down to the end of the season.
Yeah, but you got to remember, he had to sit out with that injury, too. He missed about 6 weeks of the season. Strategy right now, obviously Louisville's got to make 2 free throws. If Purvis can convert this first one, that gives them a big advantage because that forces Florida State into a situation where they have to have 2 possessions to score.
But Florida State from three-point land for the season, pretty good. McLeod 46%, Mays 36, Dawson 31. They're about 40%, but tonight it's been a miserable struggle for them as McLeod finally got 1 in the second half, and in the first half Dawson had 1 3-pointer. And Purvis will go to the line to shoot 1 and 1. Ellison with 13 on the night.
That will be the biggest point he'll make all night.
Got them both. 5-point Louisville lead. 24 seconds to go.
Quick basket. They got to have a quick one.
McLeod just won't go from three-point land. Hunter saves it. Mitchell underneath, and won't go. Dawson draws the foul. Purvis Ellison with his 4th.
How about that move by Dawson? He got it, knew he was going to get fouled, rolled it up over his right shoulder.
I think Ellison even liked it. He had a smile on his face. But 11 seconds remain. And Dawson to the line to shoot 2. Dawson had 13 in the first half. Got 18 right now, and a timeout called by the Cardinals with 11 seconds left to go. The winner of this game moves into sole possession of first place in the Metro Conference. And Florida State has to go to the road Saturday at Memphis State. We'll be there at Mid-South Coliseum for that one.
Puts a lot of pressure on Florida State, too, Roger. Because if they lose this basketball game like it appears they're going to do, they've got to go to Memphis State. And Memphis State may be one of the hottest clubs playing right now in the Metro Conference.
They've won 3 in a row. Later tonight here on ESPN, you keep it tuned. Of course, we got Wake Forest and North Carolina coming up next. Sports Center will be along. And then out of the Pac-10, it'll be Cal and Stanford. And Todd Lichty and company. Stanford ranked 17th in the country. It's been a long time since the Cardinal has gone to the tournament. So a lot of basketball coming up yet tonight here on ESPN. 69-64 with 11 seconds remaining.
Roger, you remember the conversation we were having at the top of the show? We were talking about experience and having been there and how tough it is to get there, to climb that ladder. Louisville's been there.
Yeah.
And I think it showed a little bit here tonight. They came into a very hostile environment. They played very well before a crowd that really was very much in favor of Florida State. And the Seminoles just lacked a little bit to get it over the hump. Not to the fault of Pat Kennedy and his staff or his players. They've given a valiant effort here tonight. It's going to come up a little bit short. I think that experience really began to tell right in the latter part of the second half.
Dawson, a 74% free throw shooter. Misses the second one. McLeod puts it up and in. 7 seconds, and they throw it away. Florida State has it with 4 seconds left, and they're down by 2.
I don't believe it. I can't believe they threw that ball away. Unbelievable. Hey, a 2, and we're in overtime.
Remember what I said about McLeod. He has been there at the end of the game on many occasions for Pat Kennedy and Florida State. He hit 2 free throws with 5 seconds left to ice the victory for the Seminoles at Freedom Hall. And Pat Kennedy talking to the officials right now about the clock.
They're getting ready to start play. Here they go. This is it. 4 seconds.
McLeod will inbound it.
Field goal, we go to OT.
Dawson. Tip.
He got it. It's in. Hunter. He got it. Pat Hunter. And we go to overtime.
Here's what happened at the end of regulation. Dawson, this is the last play.
Let me tell you what happened. Pat Hunter's going to tip this in. He won a game at Cincinnati this year with exactly the same type of play. A tip in at the buzzer that beat the Bearcats in Cincinnati. Pat Hunter has done it again.
We'll return to Tallahassee with the OT right after this.
But LaBradford Smith gets it. Boy, Louisville missing key free throws in the second half in the OT already.
Payne misses the three-pointer, and Tad Hunter. Five-minute overtime. Tied at 69.
Nobody on McLeod. He didn't take it. They backed off of him.
There he takes it. Three-point land. Got it. (72-69). And Tad Hunter over the back of Purvis Ellison.
You know, Roger, it's hard to hear the whistles in here. This crowd is so loud right now. I think plays continuing, and a lot of times our officials are going to have to really make themselves known, stand up very quickly, yell, scream, wave their arms, because the whistles were very difficult to hear.
So Ellison goes to the line. 1 and 1. Missed it.
Again.
And Hunter gets another rebound.
Well, the missed free throws are killing the Cardinals.
Dawson gets it, and it's going to be off Dawson. Louisville basketball with 3:57. Boy, Dawson did a good job to sneak through there.
How about the retrieval on the miss?
LaBradford Smith misses it. And Mitchell with it, but Smith steals it. To Ellison. Won't go. And the foul's going to be on Derek Mitchell, and that's his fourth. Along with Larry Conley, I'm Roger Twibell from the Leon County Civic Center, Tallahassee. Record crowd here tonight, the largest to see a Florida State game in Tallahassee. And what a turnaround at the end of the game when it appeared as though, Larry, Florida State had no chance. And they got a real break from Louisville when they threw the ball away on an inbounds pass with less than 7 seconds to go.
Roger, not only that, it was the ineffectiveness of Louisville's free throw shooting that got them in trouble. Then that big play, the made free throw on the first shot, then the tip in, made it 3, cut it to 2, and then the throwaway, and then that big move by Pat Hunter on the tip in.
And that's the third missed free throw on the front end of a 1-and-1 for Louisville here in the overtime. 3:30 left to go. Dawson. And in.
What a shot. Oh, was that tough?
Dawson with 21 points, right on his season average. LeBradford Smith from Williams back outside to Kenny Payne, who goes into Kimbrough. Great ball movement.
Oh, that was terrific ball movement. Excellent passing by the Cardinals. Good luck.
74-71 with less than 3 to go. Mitchell kicks it back to Thomas. Won't go, but he gets his own miss. McLeod, three-point land. Purvis Ellison the rebound. And the foul is going to be on Aubrey Boyd in the backcourt. Well, I'll tell you what, there's no quitting George McLeod. He's got as much confidence in his shot as any player I've ever seen.
You know, he's standing right now in the lane on the Louisville end of the court. Just really aggravated with himself because he's not being able to convert those shots. Nobody's unhappier about this than him.
I got to tell you what, though. He's got 16 in the second half. And finally, a free throw. LeBradford Smith. He may not have played a very good game, but you look down right now, and he's got 18 points, and he's the reason that it went to overtime. Tad Hunter will check in, and Boyd will sit down for Florida State. And Smith, the best free throw shooter on the Louisville team at 85%, hits them both, and it's a one-point game with 2:31.
All right, interesting to see now how they play, how Louisville plays McLeod. He's having such a bad shooting night. I don't know if I wouldn't back off of him a little bit and maybe put a little bit more emphasis on the other players. What do you think?
I don't know. That's just when he could kill you.
Well, Florida State's going to hold it, and Louisville's going to stay back in the zone. We're down to 20 seconds on the shot clock.
2:09 left to go in the overtime. 74-73. Florida State scored the first 5 points. Louisville's come back with the next 4. Mitchell. Dawson. Hunter underneath it, slams it home. A foul and count it. That ball went off the side of the backboard, right into the hands of Tad Hunter.
Watch this shot. Dawson drives, stops, takes the shot, kicks off the side of the glass. Hunter goes up, and Payne grabs him on the arm. Roger, I swear Pat Kennedy's got 4-leaf clovers in every pocket. Shirt, jacket, pants, everywhere.
And Hunter makes the free throw. 77-73, 148 left. LeBradford Smith, bad ankle and all. The strong move inside, gets his own miss, puts it down on the floor and takes it back outside. Payne inside to Ellison. Boy, nicely done. You see how he kept that ball up high?
Got great hands. Takes care of the basketball. Very seldom has it slapped away from him.
77-75, 123 left to go in the OT. Florida State leads it by 2.
Louisville's going to make no move to come out to get the basketball. They're going to make Florida State handle it for a while. You can see LeBradford Smith right at the free throw line, right in front of George McLeod. Just feeling him, making sure he's going to go somewhere. Now they start the offense. 1 minute left to go. Irving Thomas blocked by Ellison. His first block of the night. New shot clock, though. Mitchell doesn't know it. He puts it up, and it's an offensive foul. New shot clock. Mitchell didn't know it, and he took it inside, and it's called for the foul. Exactly right. Well,
and he's fouled out.
That's a big play. That is a big, big play. Well, Pat Kennedy immediately, when he knew he had that extra 45 seconds, got up and said, hold it, 1-1. Too late. Mitchell didn't know that. Watch this. There's the block. There's the attempt of the shot. New shot clock. Ball goes back to Florida State. Mitchell says, I got to get it up quick. This is where he commits the charge. Pretty good defensive play. Look at Williams for that good defensive work. Outstanding. And, of course, Purvis Ellison, the all-time leading shot blocker in Metro history. Mitchell fouls out of the game. And you can almost see the Florida State coaching staff like a wave as soon as Mitchell got the ball. They were doing their own wave back outside. He didn't see him.
And now Louisville will have it inbounds with 53 seconds left, and they're down by 2. Aubrey Boyd will check into the game for Florida State.
We got about 8 seconds difference in the shot clock and the game clock.
Ellison, turnaround, won't go. Rebound by Tony Dawson. 32 seconds left.
All they've got to do now is hold it. They got to go after somebody now.
15 seconds. Boyd kicks it back to Hunter, out top to Dawson. 9 seconds, and finally the foul by Williams. It's going to be 1-1. And Williams is fouled out of the game.
I'm not sure why they didn't go after somebody sooner, Roger. They had opportunities to go after them and decided not to do it. You got to remember, this is a good free throw shooting team, Florida State, although they have not shot well tonight.
Florida State on the season 73%. Their opponent shooting just 66%. And we got a timeout with 8 seconds left. Florida State leads Louisville 77-75. And look at this record crowd here at the Leon County Civic Center. This is the type of game that can finally put your basketball program over the hump. Now, Florida State averages just about 7,400 on the season. This is just their 3rd sellout. They've got a couple more home games. And I guarantee you, with a victory tonight, those 2 sellouts would almost be assured.
Oh, guaranteed. You know, the other thing, too, it gives them that magic number of 20 wins, too. At 19-2, it gets them up there. They do have a couple of big games left. As I said, they've got a little. Then they go to Memphis State. They're at New Orleans, and a big game at LaSalle.
That'll be on ESPN, by the way, on the 23rd.
Then
we've got Wake Forest and North Carolina upcoming next here on ESPN. As soon as we finish with this overtime, the winner of this game with sole possession of first place in the Metro. You see the free throws in overtime. Louisville 2 of 5, and they trail by 2. And now Tony Dawson at the line. He's got 21 on the night. Missed it. It's Louisville basketball with 8 seconds left. They're down by 2.
And if Deuce will tie it, we'll go to another overtime.
I think Denny wants it across the timeline, and then he wants a timeout. They'll get it up to Payne. Sullivan, three-point land. Yeah! He got Everett Sullivan wins it for Louisville at the buzzer. Points on the night for the freshman, Everett Sullivan.
Look at this shot. Bang! Right in the bottom, and no time left.
From Simpsonville, South Carolina, the freshman wins it. The final from Tallahassee. Louisville 78. 77 Florida State. For Larry Conley, I'm Roger Twybo. Let's go to Mike Patrick and Dan Bonner.
Hey, basketball.
So it's UCSB against Utah State here.
Got 21 on the night. Missed it. It's Louisville basketball. I think Denny wants it across the timeline, and then he wants a timeout. They'll get it up to Payne. Sullivan, three-point land. Yeah! He got Everett Sullivan!
establish it. Don't just also getting a restraining order. That sometimes provokes a man into murder. It's happened over and over again.
I think the thing I take away from today's show is just kind of walking in her shoes more and understanding the compromises that she was making, you know, day after day, you know, telling herself, well, okay, I can handle this amount of abuse, and then a few months later, it would escalate, and she'd make another compromise and think, okay, well, I can handle this. And I think that helps me at least understand how it goes on for so long.
And the battered women and psychologically abused women I've dealt with basically say that if you have not experienced it, you cannot understand. They can't. You can try, but you can't understand.
A lot of it also is codependency. When the man starts abusing, it's a progressive thing. It gets worse and worse. And the first time the guy pushes, that's when the boundaries have to be set and say, that's not acceptable. If you ever do that again, I'm out of here. And unfortunately, a lot of women, people in general, suffer from codependency, and they start feeling sorry for the abuser. He shows up with flowers. There's a whole syndrome that occurs, and he seduces her back, and then the next time it gets worse. So it's kind of like an addictive progression, and you can go and get help for codependency.
So I think I will take away, as a mother, being able to expose my daughter a little bit more to the situation, because I don't think enough attention is actually placed on domestic abuse.
And that's why we're doing the show, because I do think talking about it is important. Thank you all for participating today. I really appreciate it. We'll be right back.
Visit Anderson at the Allen Room at Jazz at Lincoln Center on Columbus Circle in New York. Free tickets are at andersoncooper.com.
Good grief, Mom. You going to clean that thing or wrestle it?
Well, it's not going to clean itself.
Want me to get that?
No, thank you. Viva's all I need. Look at that. Still in one piece.
Yeah, so's the towel.
Grab a roll and try it on your toughest mess.
What's the beat that moves your heart? How about the beat of a healthy heart? Campbell's Healthy Request Soup is delicious and earned this heart for being heart healthy. Feel the beat? It's amazing what soup can do.
Find your magic at Macy's Valentine's Day sale. Save 25 to 50% store-wide. Sportswear for her, 25 to 40% off. 30% off sleepwear and baby dolls. 30 to 50% plus an extra 10% off fine jewelry. Dress shirts from Kenneth Cole Reaction and Jeffrey Beam, $29.99. And Godiva Valentine's Day chocolate, 25% off. Macy's Valentine's Day sale.
We put a week's worth of bad odors in a home. Some aerosols may just mix with them. Can Febreze really remove it? We asked real people what they thought.
Take a deep breath for me. Describe the smell.
It's very pleasant.
Fresh. Some kind of flower, maybe. Remove the blindfold. Oh, yuck.
I didn't smell any of that.
Febreze Air Effects doesn't mix. It actually removes odors.
Wow, that's incredible.
So you can breathe happy, guaranteed.
Hey, Cloud. Why so low? Did you miss breakfast again?
Yeah, I'm a little foggy right now.
Here, try this. A Jimmy Dean sandwich. It'll pick you right up. All better?
Oh, yeah.
Fuel your great days with a balanced breakfast with protein. Jimmy Dean, shine on.
Advanced Systems Homes in Chanute has been building homes in Kansas, Missouri, and Oklahoma for well over 35 years. We're family-owned, and our goal is to build you a beautiful new home at the best possible value while offering the highest quality materials, workmanship, and service. In most instances, our completion time is a short 60 to 90 days. Mention this commercial and receive a free gift after your factory tour.
Your hassle-free builder, Advanced Systems.
Visit us on the web or find us fast in names and numbers.
I want to thank all my guests for being here today. If you or anyone you know is concerned about abuse, you'll find links and phone numbers to get help on our website, andersoncooper.com. I'd love to hear what you think about today's show. Talk to us on Twitter. Follow the show at Anderson. Follow me personally on Twitter at Anderson Cooper, or, of course, online, andersoncooper.com. I'll see you next time. Bye-bye.
I'm committed to saving you time and money when you shop us online at MiamiAutoSupercenter.com.
And yes, we will respond to your request immediately.
I'm committed to taking care of all your financial needs.
I'm committed to help you with all your service needs.
6 days a week with free loaner cars available. We're committed with GM certified service on all makes and models.
With commitment and dedication, our goal is simple. We only want to be the best. Come see us in Miami or shop us online at MiamiAutoSupercenter.com.
As cold weather approaches, a preseason tune-up from Neptune Auto Center can save you money this winter.
We are a full auto care center. We cover everything on your car except glass and bodywork.
Avoid winter's punch with a tune-up at Neptune Auto Center, 4th and Georgia, Pittsburgh. See our ad in names and numbers.
Can the Finder locate a magician's missing assistant?
He has been my beautiful assistant for 3 years.
I am not his beautiful assistant. The Finder, all new after Idol tonight on Fox.
Good afternoon. Here's your updated Foxcast for you. And so far, it's not a bad day. We have the light southerly winds, and we are seeing some sunshine. We still have a lot of clouds, but some sunshine, which is good news. High temps right around 45. Some areas warmer than that, pushing 50 degrees. We're going to drop back into lower 40s during the evening hours. Even a chance for a few showers or snow showers by tonight.
Today's Foxcast is brought to you by Dentures and Dental Services in Grove, Oklahoma. The Doctors in HD, today at 4, right here on Fox 14.
Get up close.
Let's see it.
And personal. I mean personal.
We don't have time for all the private dances that you want.
Today, Ellen's got Channing Tatum's secrets.
I sleep naked.
Sorry, Mom. Plus, the Nicki Minaj girls are back.
Nicki is the princess, Ellen is the queen. Put them all together, that's a Hollywood dream.
Ellen starts now.
Here she is now, Ellen DeGeneres.
So nice, right back at you. Thank you so much. I appreciate it so much. If I could, I would text each and every one of you a little smiley face. That's what I do. You know why? Because I just figured out how to do that. Because before I found that little thing in the corner with all the little smiley faces, I would text somebody and then I would call them right afterwards going, I was smiling when I texted that. Because I just started texting about a year ago, and I can see how you get addicted. I resisted for a long time. I didn't understand why you needed to text people, and now I understand. It's fun to send a message right away. I read an article about a man in Chicago who gave up technology for 90 days because he was so addicted to his cell phone and his Facebook and his Twitter. And I thought, wow, how many of you could do that? For 90 days, give up your Twitter and your Facebook and your text and your... Yeah. The rest of you are furious we made you turn your phones off for an hour. Anyway, for 3 months, he didn't use anything with a plug, anything. If he wanted to speak to someone, he would go to their house. If he needed to make a phone call, he'd go to a store and use a payphone.